Business, a person's occupation, profession, or trade. Connection, a relationship in which a person or idea is linked or associated with something else. Welcome to Business Connection. Each week, our program will offer inspiration to navigate the business world. Information you can use to succeed in any field. And we will help you focus on your goals. Join us now for Business Connection with your host, BC Clark.
Well, hello there. This is BC Clark, and this is the Business Connection. And my guest is Shatice. Shatice Archie. Welcome to the show, Shatice.
Thank you for having me.
Well, listen, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, my name is Shatice. I'm the founder and CEO of Novel Living Co. It's an Ayurvedic-inspired herbal tea company. I really love taking care of people in general, so creating wellness for them that tastes delicious is just an add-on.
Just add on?
Yeah.
So when did you get into, when did tea become a thing for you?
Honestly, 2024 is when it was founded.
Okay.
Where I started to actually make concoctions, I guess you could say. And it started really in a really dark season for me.
Okay.
I had lost 4 of the most significant people to my life, like my sister, my grandparents, as well as my father. And it all happened within a year or so. And then I was pregnant too. So it was just really tough for me, trying to come back to being okay and just being normal, I guess. So
yeah.
I used herbs as a way to cope, and I started making blends and posting it online, and people started asking questions. So I started formulating and creating things focused on helping other people too. So that's really where it started.
So, and it seemed to me that it was something that, whenever you go through any kind of trauma, whether it's light trauma or heavy trauma, I don't know the difference, but anyway, I think that you have to find advice, something that kind of pulls you out of that. And I think that you have to, whatever that advice is, you end up, maybe it's what was supposed to be,
Yeah,
And
I agree.
so, and so did you do some studying on the tea, different types of teas, and because I love tea, and I drink tea a lot. The English breakfast tea, I know a lot of people talk about it, but it wasn't one of my favorites at all.
I know. So there's certain strands of teas and things like that. What I use are herbs.
Herbs,
So
okay.
I'm more focused on herbs just because it's what I was taught. So I went to Maharishi International University,
Okay.
which is based in Iowa, actually. Well, here in America, it's in Iowa. And I studied Ayurvedic wellness and integrative health. And I learned a lot about how the body works and just the different phases that the body goes through throughout the day, and how to navigate the day,
Wow.
based on your body type and things like that. And so herbs kind of accelerate that, I guess, or it can calm you, or it can cool you, or ignite your fire for digestion, things like that. And so I took that information, and also I used to be a farmer.
Okay.
I used to be an urban farmer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I farmed in the city though, so it's not like I was on a
It wasn't
lot
rural,
of
but
land.
but I understand, because there's a lot of community gardens around town anyway, so those are really good.
And learning from a lot of different people and just my own experience, I was able to really get an understanding of what herbs can do, and just took that information and plopped it into a business, and it's going pretty well.
When did you know it was going to be a business for you?
I wanted something tangible that I could actually all right, I have to be more guided, So I created an LLC. Everyone was like, "Oh, I got an LLC," and I'm like, "Well, shoot, maybe I should get an LLC."
But you saw it then as a potential business, because it was a side hustle for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when did you take it to finally launch and say this is a business? And
for launch of tea, so Novel Living was founded in 2024, became an LLC, but actual launch of products and selling them was June of 2025.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
you had time to kind of put things together. I think oftentimes when people start businesses, they kind of just go past all the things they should do before.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, they don't plan, they don't do a business plan or anything like that. They just start the business and all of
Yeah.
a sudden they're in a business and they're like, okay, what do I do next? You know, how do I get people in? So those are the steps that they miss. I always, when I look at business, and I've been looking at it for a long time, I found out that you really have to plan it if you're looking for success. And part of that planning will help you, you know, do some if, ands, and but.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
You know, and so when we don't have those, the contingencies that in case this doesn't work, then I'm going to do this, then that's when you get stuck.
Yes.
And
And
so,
yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I do. I do.
Did you run into some of those bumps and hurdles along the way?
Yes. Yes, I did. And you just don't know what you don't know.
That's true.
You know,
That's
so
true.
when I started to try to sell my products, let's say at farmers markets or like events, I didn't know that I had to have like specific licenses and things like that to work from my home, or I had to have a specific license to get into a retail store, or work out of a commercial kitchen instead of your own kitchen. So I ran into a lot of those issues that kind of just pushed me back just a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy, because when you first start, I feel like there's a little bit of a grace period for
Oh,
you.
sure.
And so I was able to, learn from, Nebraska Business Center, and just, what was it?
Score?
SCORE, yes. I learned a lot from SCORE, and all of their seminars and things. So that's really how I started to really get more professional, if you
Into
could
it.
call it. Yeah. And yeah, I'm excited for that. I am
Yeah.
excited for people who are starting businesses to do that, take that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I was a score counselor forever, from 2000, what, 3 or something. But the last couple of years, I just kind of backed away from it. But it was really good, helping out so many people, and that's what I was doing anyway. I was doing that even before, well, right after I started my business in 2003 with 2 other partners, but we were at the library like every chance we got. We all had full-time jobs, but we were at the library, understanding, just going through and really understanding what business was, what hats were, and all that kind of stuff. And we had our struggles too, that because that was back in the day when there wasn't a lot of resources around.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think we all came to the conclusion about was that you have to know what you don't know.
Yes.
And the only way to do that is to learn. And so, we went to a lot of the classes that the SBA had, but then we do a lot of research at the library on the industry, and we were all consultants. And so, and so, because we needed to know more so that we could bring it to our clients. And so, and not that we did everything right, we didn't, because but we did do a lot of studying and researching and stuff like that. And I think today, people don't do that.
That's very
They
true.
rush into business. They start their business, and then all of a sudden, boom, nobody's coming. Okay, did you advertise anything? Was there any marketing involved? Do you have, did you do a market analysis? Did you look at feasibility for where you are? So many things. And so there was like, no, why would I need to do that? So it's just things like that, I think, is, so what I try to do is be proactive with any of the clients that I have. This is a roadmap that you can use
Yes.
to get to where you're trying to go. And if you follow this, you have good potential to be successful,
Yes.
But a lot of times you don't know that, and you don't know who to ask.
Very true. Very true.
Because there was no one, I mean, even though I knew about SCORE and I had gone to SCORE, and we had, but we had work experiences, and we were doing sales and marketing. And so it was like, okay, but I don't mind. I'm a habitual learner. I like to learn, because I like to know. So if somebody asks me something, I want to be able to give them an answer. I don't know why I've always been that way, but that's what I like to do. And so even now I go to webinars online. I just, because I figure the more I know, the better I can help my clients.
Yes.
Because I feel like it's a service. When you have skills and abilities and talents, whatever they may be, they're not just for you. They're for you to serve His people, right? And so you want to be able to give them what everything you have. And when I say that, I meant that you want to train them or learn them or at least guide them
Yes.
so that they can be successful.
I completely agree with that. And honestly, it's something that we have to get back to. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult now because we have our phones and like we
Oh,
have
we have a
all
lot of
these
stuff, yeah.
fast
You have to force
information.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about, making it happen. And I find that everyday life is that sometimes there's so many things, if you pick up your phone, there's so much crap on there. So when I just kind of peruse. I have a review on the emails, and if it's junk, I go right to block. Yeah, because you can get there's so much stuff that you don't even see the real stuff.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, so you have to do that because your head don't need all that. It's too much happening. And so I get rid of that. The first thing I do in the morning, though, is I have to clear my head. So I have to open up my spirit to the Lord Jesus Christ and guide me. Holy Spirit, what do you want me to do? Which way you want me to go?
Beautiful.
I don't care if it's people can say, oh, really, I don't have time for that. Well, I do. Because that's, Anyway, but so, yeah, and business is a lot like that. You have to continue to learn, too. I see a lot of people that'll start a business, and that business will stay, they never change anything in the business, and times change all the time. Mm-hmm. Trends are always ever going. So if you get to a place that you're not moving with the times, then you start losing customers.
Yes.
And a lot of people I got good food. Everybody have good food. A lot of people have good food.
Yes, they do.
And I'm still trying to wrap my head around all these restaurants that close Monday and Tuesday in the same area. And I'm thinking, okay, so what is going to help you stand out from all the other restaurants? Mm-hmm. And don't tell me your food is good. All the food is good.
Yes.
That's why they're in business. Everybody's food is good almost. Okay, if they wouldn't be in business long. Yeah. So if John over here, 10 miles away from you, closes on Monday and Tuesday, you should say, hey, I'm going to open up on Mondays.
Yes.
I'm going to open up on Tuesdays. I'm going to get that money that John doesn't get on Monday and Tuesday. But these restaurants follow like they're in an association. They follow better.
Maybe they have a meeting.
Yeah, maybe they do. Mondays, you can't get good food.
Yeah, I know.
It's like crazy. I'm like, what is that? But you notice all the big businesses are open. You force us to go there. I don't, but they force people to go there. So you take Monday and Tuesday money that you could get, and you send it. You're basically paying the big business to take your clients.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
That is the sad part. And especially when you live in a community where people, there's a certain type of food that people like in that community. And all of y'all closing on Monday and Tuesday?
I just don't know. Maybe they feel as though it's slower, Maybe it's a little slower, so they're like, okay, let's just keep our costs low. Let's cut those days.
Because people are saying, why do we have to go out of our community to get food on Monday and a Tuesday?
Because then they could take, honestly, some of the money, put some advertising in, and it will come back twofold. They
would. And if the food is good, they're going to continue to come back.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's much of that. So let's talk about teas. So when did things take off for you?
Honestly, it started January.
This year.
Yeah, January.
Really?
It was going well. I had a good traction going into the Q4 of last year.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good present,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So, it's just high quality herbs, good gift. It looks beautiful, you know what I mean? But tastes good. So I was a lot of farmers markets, also trying to make a lot of organic content. So I started to get a lot of followers and things. And I think that some organization somewhere in this world found me, and they reached out to me at the end of December and asked me if I wanted to be a part of their or their holiday catalog. And I said, sure, no problem. Yeah. They said, okay, we'll reach back out to you in January sometime with all of the employees that we have who chose your product, if they did, So I'm like, okay. They get back to me, and they definitely chose. Like a lot of people, more than I ever anticipated, It was like 106, I think 118 technically, that chose my product out of all of these lawyers that I was at a law firm that's based in New York. So I got to ship my products across the world for this specific
Wow.
thing. I was like, wow, posted this, you know, made content out of this entire process. And then I got invited to New York to do a trade show. Went to New York,
Yeah.
met so many different people. I mean, mom and pop
That's
shops
amazing.
to
So what was the name?
manufacturers.
I mean, how did they just because of the stuff you're doing on social media, they picked it up?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it is.
That is
It's wonderful.
great.
And I feel as though, you know, we're trying to lock in on really focusing a little bit more on corporate gifting as a business model. And
That's a good one.
yeah, I think it's really going to be something because right after we came from New York, we met Shauna Dorsey. Do you know Shauna? Everyone knows Shauna.
Yeah.
Met Shauna Dorsey, and we were able to meet with her and had another corporate contract with her and one of her events that had came up that was pretty close to that time frame. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit my
Okay.
daytime job. I know, sounds a little wild, but I quit my daytime job to focus on my business, and I haven't looked back.
Look back. That's great. That's
It's
amazing.
been wonderful. It
That's
has been.
awesome. Well, and you know, you have to know when.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I tell people. You know, it's not that there is a certain time, but you'll know when it is. But if you don't have something like a shot in the arm like that, you know, and you're doing a side hustle and you're trying to struggle to say, okay, do I quit my job now? And I would say no, because you need 6 months at least, you know, to see if this is going to bring. Number one, you need to first get to the amount that you're making right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, once you're there, you still don't quit it, okay? Because now you need another 6 months to put savings on the side,
Yeah.
okay? And I always tell people when you do that, so the 6 months, number one, you're going to just roll and see if you're going to get to make what you are, you know, currently receiving. Because you still have your bills and all that kind of stuff from, you know, the home. If you're going to go to this one salary, you got to make sure that it covers everything that you're already doing, because then you can have some issues. Well, and I just in a class recently, and I was telling them, they was like, I never thought about that. I was like, yeah, you don't want to just jump up and quit because you made some money over here over the weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not a time to do that. I said, you know, do it methodically. I said, now, so just follow the pattern, you know, because I have it written, and I was giving it to him. I said, now look, so you work 6 months. I said, now in the next 6 months, you want to ask and see if you can work part-time.
Yeah.
I said, now you're doing that because you want us to have some kind of income coming in while you're still building, you know. And they were like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense, because you know what? You don't want to jump. When you do things too fast, everything falls.
Very true.
You know, you need to do it methodically. Take your time. Don't be in a rush, you know, because if you really think that this is going to be something that's feasible, is viable, is going to make the money that you wanted to make, then just take your time with it. You know, I call it 663, you know, 6 months where you're saying, okay, I'm being intentional about what I'm making over here, you know, and I'm going to try to make as much as I can to match the salary that I'm getting. And then another 6 months so you can put money back.
Yes.
And then 3 months if you can go part-time. And by that time, you know, you've got a structure, you know where you're going, you know what you're going to do, you know, and of course you're marketing the whole time that you're doing this. But you don't jump out there and go to your boss and say.
I did not follow that rule. I did not. I did not at all. And I think
But that's okay. It seemed like it worked
okay.
out for you because you got a shot in the arm.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know?
I never thought of it like that, though, you know?
Yeah.
I always thought of it like, okay, yeah, shot in the arm. I
Yeah,
like that.
it was, because it boosted, you know, instead of you having to wait to get to that point,
Yeah.
somebody came to you right away and you got a shot in the arm and boom, you were in New York,
Yeah.
you know?
And then, you know, even after that, so I quit my job, right? And I got scared. I was so scared, you know.
it makes sense.
The security blanket was gone. I was like, oh, I don't know. Okay, let me figure out a way to make recurring money, you know,
Yeah.
often without paid ads. I still want to keep everything organic. So I hopped on TikTok. I don't know if we can say that on here, but
Yeah.
got on TikTok and went live. I went live on TikTok and I just did what I do every day, where I make blends. But we have giant bowls, like ginormous. It's probably almost the size of this table, but ginormous bowls, and people love it. I'm telling you, like, there's like 300, 400 people in there at a time watching us make these blends. And so people are purchasing right on the spot. People are, following, sharing, liking,
That's so good.
just continuously building a community of people. So people are learning, people are watching their products be made,
And then
people
they're
are
buying.
seeing, and people are purchasing. And it just makes it an entirely different ecosystem online for us. So we have that. We have farmers markets,
Yep.
and then we also have like the opportunity to be in corporate gifting world.
Yes.
So we have a couple different business models
Yeah.
and different ways of revenue. And I really appreciate myself for taking that leap and really just trusting God on this, because
Yeah.
He put it in my heart to do this in real life. Like,
That's right.
it,
And people don't realize that. They think everything came from themselves.
no, no. But I do feel as though, He put it in my heart, but you do have to have the courage to work on that.
You do, and you do have to put your one step.
Yes.
I always say, he said, you do one step, he'll do two.
Yeah.
And so that's the dance. And so doing that, I think it really focuses you. And if it's your niche, if it's your purpose, I just did the Power of Purpose, with the class, and they were like, I just never thought about that this way. I said, when you don't know what your purpose is, I said, you make wrong decisions. I said, you marry somebody that you shouldn't have been married to. They fell out when I said that. I said, you get the wrong job. I said, all that happens when you don't know your purpose. I said, now it's not your fault that you don't know your purpose, but you have to, when you kind of scattering around trying to figure out what you want to do, you have to take time and go off and say, who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? Why am I here?
Yes.
The two most important dates in your life. You know what they are?
Your birth,
That's one of them.
and your death. I know that sounds really.
Death would not be
gruesome.
important, okay?
All right.
No. Your birth, the day you were born, and the day you find out why.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Power
That's
of
beautiful.
purpose.
Yes.
So I just got through with a class, and some people were like, oh my goodness, I need to go on a retreat. I was like, yeah. I actually did when I was about 40.
Okay.
I went on
Where did you go?
for myself to a hotel
Okay.
because I was in a stuck moment, and it hit me all of a sudden like, am I doing what I really want to do? And I was, but I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing changed other than the fact that I realized that was what I was supposed to be doing. And so I started focusing on that. And when I started focusing on that, that's when everything started coming into play.
Yeah.
Meeting the people I needed to meet to move me where I needed to go. I had a career in IT, which I love. Because I'm not one to come in every day and do the same thing. I would go nuts. I need a fire. I need to put out some fires and burn some things and troubleshoot stuff, and so IT was really a place where I thrived at.
Okay.
And I did a lot of traveling, going to train and to upgrade different locations we had. I worked for Conagra Foods for a long time.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was with APHIS, but I was with Conagra for like 28 years, and I went everywhere. I was going all over the place. But prior to all of the IT, I was doing marketing.
Okay.
So, those two together was my background. And so, but yeah, you learn a lot, if you open yourself up.
You
And
are
so
impressive.
I was just like trying to figure out what I was going to do, but he already had a plan, And so sometimes you have to say, am I doing what you want me to do?
Yeah.
And he'll answer you.
Yes, he will. Yes, he
So
will.
that's kind of like what it is. But so the herbs and things that you study, so how do you put together what's ginger peach tea?
Ginger peach tea, yes.
Yeah.
Something like that. I feel like you have to find the right ripe fruit, I guess, or just like I like to work with organic herbs and things like that. But peach, you just dehydrate it. You just get it.
Dehydrate it,
You might
okay.
want to add a little stevia to it if you like a lot of sugar. You like a lot of things
I don't like
that.
a lot of sugar. I like taste, but I don't like sugar.
But
Not in my
dehydration.
tea.
dehydrating it, and then chopping it up and making it small into small chunks. And then ginger, you do the same thing. You just give it slices.
I have ginger, yeah.
Yeah, slice it up, dehydrate it. You can put it in the oven, literally, and like cook it, you know, and it'll dry up. It'll dry it, take out all the moisture, but it still
ginger?
leaves it still leaves the goodness inside of it. Yeah. Don't cook it for too long.
No,
Low heat, very low heat.
low heat, yeah.
But yeah, then you just chop it
how-
up
for
into
how
small
long?
pieces. I'd say put it on about 275 degrees or so, probably for maybe 45 minutes.
Okay, 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 I'm gonna, but I mean, so I can do that, okay?
Yes.
Because I love ginger peach tea, and I get it from places, whenever I see it, I
You
grab
should
it.
add some, just a little bit
A
of
cinnamon?
mint. I
Mint.
know it's gonna top it off. I'm telling you, it
Oh,
will.
I'll do that, I'll do that. Well, I tell you what, so give us your information, your website, your phone number, and all that stuff so that
Yeah.
people can contact you. But it's been really amazing sitting here talking to you. Now, do you think
Yes.
that it's been 27 minutes now?
No,
Did you forget?
honestly, I did not. I didn't. This
I
felt
told you it's a
just a
conversational
breeze.
interview. When it's a conversational interview, we're just talking. That's what it is. But it's talking about you and what you're doing. So that way of bringing your business to the audience
Yeah.
without somebody throwing questions at you.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier. So with a minute and something left, tell us a little bit, just one thing that you think you want them to know, like maybe a struggle or something you came over, got over, whatever.
Yeah, well, for me, I just feel as though it's difficult to understand what your body needs a lot of the time. And when you pick up a book or you learn a little bit more or take yourself on that journey of wellness, it can be as simple as something as a cup of tea.
Yes.
That'll make you feel better,
Yeah.
and just consistently doing it. Stay consistent. I think that's going to be the
Consistency
separation
is-
before
yeah.
the separation of
Yeah.
good and
Give
bad.
us your email real quick and
Yeah.
your phone number.
You can reach me at founder@novelivingco.com. So that's NAVALIVINGCO.com. And my name is Shatice. Once again, you can reach me at 402-450-3917. And I do want to let you know that I do free consultations. So if you email me or you message me, I will talk with you briefly about your journey, I guess.
Okay, all right. Well, this has been amazing. I've learned more about tea, and I love tea, so that was really good for me. Thank you so much for being on this show, Shatice Archie. Shatice Archie, you guys. Great. Novel Living Co. All right, we love you. We'll see you next time.